Good evening and welcome to the news roundup for Monday, April 3. I am Abigail Smythe. Before we get into the news, please remember to like this video, share your views in the comments, and share the video with your family and your friends.
Teach them! Always make sure the message reach them!
Now for the news in detail. As of Monday, April 3, contributors to the National Housing Trust, NHT, will have a wider range of access to mortgage financing. The NHT is implementing a series of changes to optimize loan processing and will be piloting a new mortgage financing model, the External Financing Mortgage Program, EFMP. This is to replace the current Joint Finance Mortgage Program on a phased basis to expand the list of mortgage institutions through which contributors can access their NHT loans. This list will now include credit unions along with commercial banks. National Commercial Bank and COK have already signed on to the program. Under Phase 1 of the program, contributors who wish to access their NHT benefits from financial institutions that have not signed on to the EFMP will be able to receive referral letters up to April 30. The NHT says while these entities transition to the EFMP, arrangements are being made for contributors who wish to access their benefits through these institutions to do so from May 1 to July 31. Additionally, all contributors outside the NHT's 0% income band and who intend to mix funds will receive all loan benefits as if they had gone directly to NHT. The trust says under Phase 2 of the program, contributors earning more than $30,000 weekly who wish to access loans to purchase on the open market will be required to procure full loans from partnering financial institutions. There is now a ban on incandescent bulbs. The ban took effect on April 1. In 2018, CARICOM decided to ban incandescent lighting, and in September 2022, Cabinet approved the ban. The ban prohibits the import, export, manufacture, distribution, and sale or purchase of the items. The Ministry of Energy says the move was made in an effort to promote efficiency and energy conservation, as well as protect consumers from having underperforming light bulbs while providing tangible energy savings. According to studies done by the ministry as well as JPS, switching from 60-watt incandescent bulbs to 9-watt LED bulbs in the home could reduce energy consumption by 85%. The ministry recommends the use of LED bulbs as they are energy saving and have greater longevity. LED lighting products typically last 3 to 5 times longer than contact fluorescent bulbs or 30 times longer than an incandescent bulb. Additionally, it is estimated that replacing such bulbs with higher efficiency lighting like LEDs could save Jamaica $1.3 billion yearly. The bodies of a man and a woman who went missing on Saturday were found in bushes in an abandoned structure near Naysbury Villa in Kitson Town, St. Catherine, Monday morning. They have been identified as 38-year-old Georgia Blunt, a water vendor, and 42-year-old Ruel Fuller, both from Bendon District in Kitson Town. Their hands and feet were bound and had what appeared to be gunshot wounds. The discovery was made during a search by the police and residents. The search was launched after upset residents mounted a major roadblock along the main road in Kitson Town in a call for action from the authorities to locate the missing duo. The man and the woman are residents of Kitson Town, and residents reported that the two were last seen on Saturday on their way to deliver water to a farm operated by the woman. When they did not return home, an initial search by residents resulted in the discovery of the water truck. The Guanabo Vale police are investigating the matter. The decomposing body of a Clarendon man who reportedly went missing last week was found in bushes in Sanguinetti Monday morning. He is 25-year-old Devante Price, otherwise called Ansman, of a Logie Green address. Price went missing last Thursday, and we'll have more details on this story as they become available. Detectives assigned to the Elletson Road Police are in search of a father who is believed to have killed his daughter during a dispute at their home Sunday morning. The deceased has been identified as 17-year-old Shadiq Calvert of Barry Street, Kingston. Reports are that about 1:10 a.m. a dispute developed between the father and daughter when a knife was used to inflict a wound to Shadiq's chest. She was taken to hospital where she died while undergoing treatment. The Jamaica Constabulary Force JCF is reaffirming its commitment to reducing incidents of domestic violence through educating citizens and investigating all reported cases of domestic violence. The public is being reminded that the JCF presently has 10 domestic violence intervention centers throughout the island. The JCF is also encouraging persons to report all suspected cases of domestic violence, even if they are not the victim. A 6-year-old boy was among 3 persons shot and injured by gunmen during an attack on their home in Hopewell District in Sandy Bay, Hanover, on Sunday. The child was shot along with a 71-year-old man and a woman. It was reported that around 5:20 p.m., the 3 were among other family members at the house when gunmen approached and opened fire. When the shooting subsided, the 3 were found suffering from gunshot wounds. They were assisted to hospital where they were treated and admitted in serious but stable conditions. Police discovered 8 spent casings when processing the scene. No motive has been established for the attack. A man who was recently freed of a murder charge was shot and injured by gunmen along the Golden Spring Main Road in St. Andrew Sunday morning. It is reported that around 10:30, the man, a businessman from St. Andrew, was driving his vehicle along the roadway when a car heading in the opposite direction stopped and had its 4-way flashers on. The police say the businessman stopped and 2 men armed with handguns alighted from the motor car and opened fire on the vehicle, hitting him in the right hand and right foot. The men then returned to their vehicle and fled into the area. The injured man was escorted to hospital where he was admitted in stable condition. 6 people were shot, 2 fatally, in an attack at Darlow District in Mucko, Clarendon, Saturday night. The deceased have been identified as 37-year-old Irvin Wright, otherwise called Joe, and 24-year-old Jason Lewin, both construction workers from Darlow District. The 4 injured men were admitted to hospital, with 1 being in critical condition. According to reports, the 6 men were at a shop having drinks when a white Toyota Probox motor car drove up, and 2 men armed with handguns exited the vehicle. One of the men entered the shop and the other stood outside. Shortly after, they opened gunfire at the victims. The police were alerted, and on their arrival, the lifeless bodies of Wright and Lewin were seen lying face down along the roadway with gunshot wounds to their backs, heads, and upper bodies. The victims were rushed to hospital for treatment. Police reportedly found 15 9mm spent casings while processing the scene. No motive has been established for the attack. An artist was shot and injured by a gunman at a bar in Buff Bay, Portland on Saturday. It is understood that around 12:55 p.m., the artist was inside the bar when a man who is reportedly known to him approached the bar armed with a handgun and stood in front of the establishment. A report states that the man fired 3 shots inside the bar and then walked into the facility and fired 1 more shot, which caught the artist in the shoulder. The man then fled the area on foot. Residents assisted the injured man to hospital where he was admitted for treatment. It is understood that the artist was visited by police at the hospital but had indicated he did not wish to give a statement or engage in any court proceedings in relation to the matter. However, the police have launched an investigation which led them to the residence of the alleged shooter, but he was not seen. A man was stabbed to death in his community in Discovery Bay, St. Anne, Saturday morning. The deceased has been identified as 38-year-old Gary Gardner, a machine operator of Adna Grass, Discovery Bay. Police report that around 9:30, Gardner was in his community when he was approached by an unknown assailant who stabbed him in the upper body multiple times. Police were called to the scene and upon their arrival found Gardner suffering from stab wounds. He was taken to hospital where he was pronounced dead. An 18-year-old teen of March Town in Hanover, who was reported missing last Wednesday, was found dead on Friday. The body of Tesia Hall was found by the police and residents sometime after 1 o'clock Friday afternoon, covered by trash in a cane field. The teen's mother, Shafae Stewart, said she last saw her daughter the Saturday night. Ms. Stewart said she filed a missing persons report with the police on Wednesday. Commanding officer for the Hanover Police, Superintendent Sharon Beepert, says 2 men have been detained for questioning in connection with the killing. An autopsy will be conducted to determine the cause of death. Police are probing 2 separate incidents in which men on motorcycles opened fire on motor vehicles Friday night. Police say the first incident occurred around 7:15 p.m. in Shrewsbury District in Whithorn, Westmoreland. It was reported that 2 persons were traveling in a motorcar when, upon reaching a section of the roadway, a motorcycle with 2 men on board rode up and the pillion opened gunfire at them. They managed to drive away unharmed and made a report to the police. The police found 7 spent casings at the scene. In the second incident, police say 3 people were traveling in a motor vehicle around 8:40 p.m. on Carr Crescent near Barnett Street in Montego Bay, St. James, when a motorcycle rode up. The pillion opened gunfire at them and then escaped. No one was injured. In business, the economy grew by 3.8% for the last quarter of 2022, slightly outperforming the 3.4% projection from the Planning Institute of Jamaica, PIOJ. That's according to the latest information from the Statistical Institute of Jamaica, Statin. According to Statin, the country has now recorded 7 consecutive quarters of economic growth. The goods-producing industries saw the largest improvement of 4.7%. This was driven by a near doubling in output for the mining and quarrying sector. Agriculture and manufacturing also saw improvements of 5.9 and 5.4% respectively. Tourism, as represented by hotels and restaurants, continues to be the true engine of the country's growth. This industry expanded by just over 21% for the quarter. All other services industries except producers of government services saw gains ranging from 10.4 to 0.6%. Overall, the services industries grew by 3.6%. Preliminary estimates indicate that the Jamaican economy grew by 5.2% for the calendar year 2022. On the foreign exchange market, a buying rate for the Canadian dollar is $110.46, while the selling rate is $113.42. Buying rate for the euro is $165.61, selling rate $167.54. The Great Britain pound's buying rate is $184.34, while the selling rate is $189.48. Buying rate for the US dollar is $149.96 and selling rate $150.91. In the region, the Belize government has announced new measures regarding the entry requirements into the country for nationals from Haiti and Jamaica. The government said following a thorough discussion on the increasing number of visitors who are using Belize as a transit country to reach the United States, Cabinet has determined that Belize will invoke Article 226A of the revised Treaty of Chaguaramas, which governs the 15-member regional integration migration movement, of which both Jamaica and Haiti belong. According to the government statement, invoking this article of the treaty would allow for the Minister of Immigration to immediately impose a visa requirement for Haitians wishing to visit Belize and to require Jamaican nationals to provide evidence of fully paid, non-refundable hotel reservations prior to boarding flights to Belize. On the international scene, oil prices have surged after several of the world's largest exporters announced surprise cuts in production. The price of Brent crude oil is trading above $84 a barrel after jumping by more than 5%. The increase came after Saudi Arabia, Iraq, and several Gulf states said on Sunday they were cutting output by more than 1 million barrels of oil a day. In addition, Russia said it will extend its cut of 500,000 barrels per day until the end of the year. Energy giants BP and Shell saw their share prices rise on Monday, with both rising more than 4%. Oil prices soared when Russia invaded Ukraine, but are now back at levels seen before the conflict began. However, the U.S. has been calling for producers to increase output in order to push energy prices lower. High energy and fuel prices last year helped to drive up inflation, the rate at which prices rise, putting pressure on many households' finances. And in sports, Hydel High School won their first ISA Girls Championships title, and Kingston College won their 34th boys title after the ISA Grace Kennedy Boys and Girls Athletics Championships ended in dramatic fashion on Saturday at the National Stadium. Hydel dethroned Edwin Allen, who came in second, and Homewood Technical were third. Kingston College topped the boys' points table, with Jamaica College following in second and Calabar in third. And that's it for your news roundup for today. Please remember to like the video, share your views in the comments, and share the video with your family and your friends. I am Abigail Smythe. Have a good evening and see you next time.
Teach them! Hey, yo, hello! Send the message and make it reach them. It's Teach Them, right here. Warlord representing.
Thank you for watching. Like the video before you go. Please subscribe if you haven't done so. And remember to share the video with your friends and family. And browse the channel for more quality content. Until next time, walk good, my friends.
Teach them!